Leviticus 11:9 through 12 tells us not to eat bottom feeders. Now I'm going to tell you there's a reason Jesus made them clean later. Okay? So I'm not going to go through all of this, read the entire passage, but the essential part is simply don't eat bottom feeders. Okay? God even says they shall be an abomination unto you. Ye shall not eat of their flesh, but ye shall have their carcasses an abomination. Whatsoever hath no fins nor scales in the water shall be an abomination to you. Creatures with no scales or fins tend to consume waste and are likely to carry disease. Now, due to advanced sanitation, and that sanitation even existed during the Roman Empire, but they didn't have it in Israel. We can now safely cook shrimp. Oh gosh, I think I know where I want to go to lunch now. Sorry, it's that ADD. Anyway, we can now safely cook shrimp, but then it would have been a death sentence to those people. Like sin itself, certain foods were not bad because they were forbidden, but forbidden because they were bad. Certain birds were not to be eaten. And these were birds, and you see this in Leviticus 13 through 19. Again, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but there's a list of them. Okay? Essentially, these were flying animals who were known to eat rotting flesh, which science has discovered spreads disease. Bats are included in there too, in those flying animals. They eat rotting flesh, spreading disease. By the way, another little aside, this is the difference between an unclean dog and a clean dog. House dogs and outside dogs were considered different. House dogs were clean. They ate from their master's table. They would chase around rats. They would take care of the rat problem. And they didn't eat dead rats, but they would chase around the living rats and get them out of the house. And then when the owner would be eating, they'd feed them from the table. Okay? Outside dogs ate what they could find, including rotting carrion along the side of the road, which made them unclean. So when the Bible in the New Testament talks about dogs in a bad way, they're talking about the outside dogs, the outside unclean dogs, because they ate rotting flesh. Okay? Dogs in and of themselves, I haven't found anywhere, I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, message me and let me know, because I want to know, but I haven't seen anything about an inside dog being an unclean animal. Okay? We're also told, do not eat swine. Again, the same thing. Deuteronomy 14, verse 8. And the swine, because it divideth the hoof, yet cheweth not the cud, it is unclean to you. Ye shall not eat their flesh, nor touch their dead carcass. See, pigs, like shrimp, and like animals that eat unclean things, they have something wrong with the meat. They have a parasite, okay, called trichinosis, which will infect the consumer of the pork if the pig is not cooked properly. And they did not have the ability to cook swine in the Old Testament. They didn't have the ability to cook it properly. They would get sick and die. The Bible forbade the eating of pork 3,000 years before humanity learned how to cook it safely. Do not eat fat. Leviticus 7:23. Look at all of this research telling us, I better hide this because it kind of gives me away, but telling us not to eat certain fats. Leviticus 7:23. Ye shall eat no manner of fat of ox or sheep or of goat. Folks, only in recent decades has the medical community determined that saturated fat, that is fat that is solid at room temperature, clogs your arteries and contributes to heart disease. That's the only, it's been very recent in history. Do not consume blood, as in Leviticus 17:12. No soul of you shall eat blood. A common ritual of many ancient religions in the ancient world was to drink blood. The Creator repeatedly told his people to abstain from blood. First of all, because it was an idolatrous practice. Okay? Second of all, because blood is sacred in Christianity and in ancient Judaism. But then, of course, there is the fact that blood contains a lot of iron. Modern science reveals that consuming raw blood is very, very dangerous. Drinking blood can lead to what is called iron overload. Iron overload can kill you. Too much iron makes you develop heart disease, liver disease, diabetes, and death. That last one should concern you more than anything, but yes. And not even sometimes a slow death from these others, sometimes a very rapid death because of iron overload.